Similar, guys. So I get asked the question of masculinity a lot. How I define masculinity, what masculinity is in 2024. Some people might ask for guidance in order for them to exude more masculine traits, etc., etc. And I always have like a standard answer around masculinity and what it means to be a man. To me, being a man is saying, doing. I spoke about aligning your thoughts, your words, your actions. For me, that's a man. A man is a person who does the things that he thinks and talks, and whatever consequences come from that, he faces them. He's responsible and is accountable for that. I say all of that to say this. So I get a lot of questions around, now around the nails. Hey, bro, what's up with the nails? Obviously, some people are really asking because they're really intrigued. Like, dog, we don't get it. We don't get the nails. Doesn't make sense to us. Some people are, I don't know, say it as a joke. What was in when about masculinity with your nails? Maybe that's not even a joke. But like some people say it as a joke, and then some people are dicks. So you get everything. And people ask me these questions, and I've tried to explain as best as I can, but I thought, let me rather just break down a video because I want to talk about masculinity. Every time I get asked these questions, or whenever someone says it in a very rude way, it's always on a comment. It's always on a comment on, it's never someone who comes to me mano a mano to my face. It's never been a stranger. I meet a lot of strangers. People want to take selfies. People come and greet me. Hey, Brad, thank you for the stuff that you've done. I get a lot of that. But I've never, ever gotten someone who comes and says, hey, Penson, bruh, what you said, but was absolute bullshit. You fucked up. Hey, bruh, your nails look, No one's ever done that. So it tells me, and it begs the question of keyboard warriors, guys who are behind their screens, but chat a big game. That to me is not masculinity. That to me is not being a man. That to me is very much childlike. It's like with my kids, the one who tease, my youngest one will always tease his oldest brothers, and then he'll hide behind me, like you hide behind the keyboard. So again, I want to try and explain this journey, and allow me, I'll get to the nail things at the end. So I think a lot of us men are always or constantly trying to prove to ourselves and find a sense of identity and from when we went through primary school to post-puberty high school, you are always trying to put yourself in a space where your social currency increases. So you wanted to go up this hierarchy, and you found whatever was the social currency of the time. So if you were in a school that was very top at sports, you try and play the sport that would make you, be the number one guy. If you were in a school where maybe you need to be prefect, maybe the blazer, you become that. So when we go through school, we find certain social currencies, and that doesn't stop, after school. Maybe you go to the right university, maybe you find the right career, maybe you drive the right car. All those type of things are adding to your social score as a man, and it speaks to your masculinity. So for example, they'll say, hey, that guy is actually a great guy because he drives a bakkie and he works as a miner. That might be some person's version of masculinity. I don't know when they're projecting it. People that know me in my first year, 2007 in varsity, try and think back. In 2007 in varsity, I always wore a jacket. You'd never see me really with like a vest. Maybe when I'm playing sports, maybe you'd see me with that. Going into like mid 2008. And it's so crazy because like, I think I've always had a relatively good body, but I was always insecure about it. Not in the sense of, oh my God, I look like a loser. But because I always felt like nyakoma, like I feel like I was doing better than. It's almost like I felt like the rich kid who has like the iPhone 16 while all his friends have like the old BlackBerry Curve. So I was like, I don't want to really show it out, And I know that sounds like a humble brag, but that's truly how I felt, And I remember my ex at the time was like, why don't you ever wear like this? I was like, nah, So why you train so hard, you go to the gym, you play these sports, you've got a great body. Why don't you ever want to show it off? I was like, I just don't feel confident in it. And you realize, Uti, if you got a shit body, you got a shit body. And a lot of people have shit bodies and they're cool with it. But the moment your body starts looking a certain way, what tends to happen, even without you asking, is that people then criticize your body. So if you just driving your, I don't know, your Ford Fiesta, no one says anything. But if you go and you're driving a Lamborghini, then all of a sudden it opens up for people to criticize. What type of Lamborghini is that? Is that a Diablo? You know, what engine does it have? Hey, that car, now they start getting really interested in the technicalities of it. They start scrutinizing the littlest things about who you are in your body. And I always like shied away from that, you know. I'd always have a brush cut. Always brush cut. Then I just started growing my hair out. I just didn't like, And you start realizing, you know, you actually, as loud as I am, as what, I also don't welcome certain levels of scrutiny. Why? And it speaks to not wanting to get the boo, you know. So you'd rather just stay in your lane. You'd rather not put up your hand and ask the question in a boardroom because there's a fear of you sounding silly. So you'd rather just keep quiet, you know. And I've only had, the guys will remember, he cut, well, cut, I don't say, cut, so Mr. Magic. So I only had that, I think, once in my life, never again. I always just have a brush cut, stand brush cut. And I remember when I got into a fade, you know, I felt so insecure. What are they gonna say? I know guys, Machita can be quite rough, you know, even with their teasing and their banter, there can be a lot of underhanded shit there. And it was always like, what are they gonna say? And I remember how I had to grow the confidence into being courageous enough to do a fade, you know, and I constantly did it. And again, I know it's a long story and it's getting to the nails, but I'm trying to give you guys little things in my life where I had to find the confidence of doing. Fast forward, end of 2022, I think. My sons are watching some YouTuber playing some games, and it's some Asian guy with like purple hair, you know. And I'm like, that's stupid. Oh, purple hair, stupid, nah. And like one of my, I think it was Untans, it was like, Baba, you must get your hair purple, whatever, you know, you must dye your hair, something like that. And I was like, no, I'll never dye my hair. That's stupid. Why would I? That's stupid. And then as I walked away, my old sister, he looks at me, goes, it's because you're scared. Like, as I'm walking away. He says this, let's say he says this around like October. As I'm walking, and he's like, you're scared. No, look, I'm not scared. Dye my hair. It's just hair. I'm not scared. Right? That's what he says. I leave. I carry on with my life, you know, get my face, get whatever. And something at the back of my head is like, would I dye my hair? And I go, no, but I look stupid. So I'm trying to justify the fact that I'd never dye my hair because I'd look stupid. They didn't say I must dye my hair forever. They just said, just dye your hair. Just throw it out there. And I was like, nah. And I held on to that. And again, it's just hair. October came and went. November came and went. I remember this one time, because sometimes the seed is planted and it's growing at this an exponential rate and it's getting bigger and bigger than, you know, and I'm sitting and I'm going, am I scared? Am I scared about what people are going to say in the workspace? Am I scared about what my peers are going to say? Am I scared about how I'm going to be, you know, accepted or maybe not in this world? Will people laugh at me? Will I look like a tit? You know, will I look like a little bit of a fairy? Like, how will the world accept me should I dye my hair? You know, it's so outside of this personality that I'm trying to put on. But I mean, I'm getting daughter. You know, I'm driving a bakkie. You know, I'm not gym. It's so crazy because you're like, how will people take this version of the dyed hair? And I remember, like, it was at night. I'm feeling like a salon. And the guy was like, hey, my brother, how can I was just like, dye my hair? He's like, I was like, just don't care, dye my hair. I was like, are you sure? I was like, and he goes and dyes my hair. And I remember how nervous I was. I was so nervous, and because now the hair's dyed. I've seen myself in the mirror. I look just as stupid as I thought I'd look. And now I have to come back home to my 3 monsters who are the ones that planted the seed. And I walk in at night and they're sitting there and they pause and they look at me. They look at me. They're like, cool hair. And they turn in the camera watching TV, and like my mind is like, I'm expecting like more. I'm like, I've sacrificed so much for this hair that I've dyed. And for weeks and weeks and weeks, obviously the gents will tease me, my brother's my biggest hater. Hate that guy. But obviously I'm saying it tongue in cheek. But a lot of the guys were really, really teasing me, from nice nicknames from Goku to Bab Chinja to whatever you want to name it. But again, it comes to the territory of when you put yourself out there, you will get criticized. You will get criticized. You'll get people that say compliments, but you'll also get a lot of people who don't understand and see you that they see you in a certain box. And the moment you go and you dye your hair, it doesn't fit their mold. So there's a dissonance of, how? No. So it really does, excuse me, it really does take getting used to that type of feedback. Because guys, it's not always roses and unicorns. I promise you. The first time I had a tattoo, 2010, I remember I got it on my thigh. It was family comes first, and I tried my best to not wear like short shorts. Again, because what is my family gonna say? I'm the only person that I knew in my immediate family, not my brothers, not my cousins, no one had a tattoo. Now imagine I'm gonna come through the tattoo. What is my family gonna say? So again, how am I going to be received? How am I going to be received by my friends' parents? So again, I've got hundreds of stories like those stories where it was the tattoos, it was alcohol. No one in my family drinks. I started out begging. So it's all those things where, in order for me to try and express and see certain aspects and challenge myself, I had to actually break out of this cocoon. I'm not saying I'm gonna dye my hair for it, but I just, like most people, I also listen to Tupac. I saw Thug Life in a nose ring, and I was like, shit, nigga. I'm American. But you sit there with the silent desire of like, hey, maybe if I had Thug Life or if I had a nose ring, but you're like, nah, girls have nose rings. I'm not going to get a nose ring. And then you see other people with nose rings, you're like, I'm not those people. I'm a fighter. And you put yourself in this box. And then you get the nose ring, after 34 years of fear, 34 years of holding back. Then you get this nose ring and you look at yourself and you hear the negative comments and the jokes and this, and then once in a blue moon, people are like, hey, nose ring looks good on you. All right, cool. You're like, shit, okay, all right, okay. It's assuring that I can take decisions. Not everybody will like it, and that's okay. And that's fine. I went into my first MMA gym in 2020. Went to my first MMA gym, and I remember I'd see the guys that do a lot of the grappling and the jets guys, and a lot of them would have black toenails. Black toe, what? Polish, whatever it's called, nail polish on their toes. And I was looking at them, I'm like, why do you guys have black nail polish? And I never understood why, until I'd see some of the guys like who don't have nail polish. If you know guys that are grapplers or guys who do kickboxing, if you look at their toes look manky. They look like guys that have played like soccer or rugby for years and they've been wearing boots for years, for years, every single day. Their feet, it's almost like the blood rises to the top of their toenails, and their toenails look like an ugly, disgusting brown. So a lot of the guys started painting their toenails black. I don't know if it was because they didn't, whatever it is, but it became that MMA culture. Excuse me. And again, you're always wearing shoes at work, whatever, so no one really sees you like that. And whenever people that saw you with your toes, a lot of them understand that culture, much like having cauliflower ears. You start realizing, oh shit, this guy's either a rugby player or forward, or he's a fighter. That's why he looks the way he looks. And you start getting attracted to it because you start realizing it represents something. It represents fighting. I'm a fighter. It represents fighting. So you're like, I just want to buy into the culture. So you know, trying to feel a part of a group, understanding that outside of a group, hey bro, what's happening with your toes, dog? What the fuck is happening with your toes? That's some weird shit, dog. Again, people don't understand. I had to now talk to inner person to say, bro, when you're out there, fuck them. Vele, this is what you wanted, this is what you spoke about, so do it. That's my version of being a man. There's so many men that start dating ladies, and the ladies will say, hey, let's go do our nails. You just get it buff and shine. Buff and shine, okay, that's a stepping stone. Just it buff and shine. Okay, who told you that buff and shine is so much of a thug, having it buff and shine? Who told you that? Who told you that buff and shine is so much being of a thug versus you having pink nails? Again, it's a social standard that either you accept or you say, fuck it, I'm going to run my life the way I want to run it. My thoughts, my mouths, my actions are what I believe. I listen to you guys' suggestions, sure, but ultimately, I want to live this life. Understand, I've been with many other females that paint their nails and what. It's not for them lacking to try and drag me to get my nails done. It's because I was trying to fit a certain mold. I can't be seen dressed like that. I can't be seen wearing that. I can't be seen this. I can't be seen listening to music. Phela mina ngumZulu ngilalela umaskandi. Manje mangibhizi ngilalela oh captain funny say bazongijaja abantu. I can't be seen eating malva pudding. Phela malva pudding phela mina ngumZulu ngidla inhloko. So you have those things within yourself. Forget the pressures of external. Within yourself that you constantly have to fight through every single day. Bazothini. And again, the journey of going from buff and shine to putting clear nail, as cheat code for buff and shine, because you might not have time or whatever the case is, to let me put an initial of my partner. And then after a while, she'll be like, hey, I'm doing this color. Can we have matching colors? Okay, so we have matching white. Then we have matching black. Now we've got matching yellow. So you're thinking, shit. It's either I do something that is going to bring me personally, Mina, and my partner together. So one, I'm aligned and at peace. Secondly, she really loves it. I can either do that, for us, or I can listen to some unknown comment on Instagram or YouTube saying, when Avela was next. Now what's the trade-off? Like, Machita, think about it. There's my girlfriend who does things to me and for me versus a negative it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. So then you start thinking about all those things in my life that I've held off on because I was scared of Bazothini. There's things that are happening in your life. Maybe there's a t-shirt that you don't wear because it might show your belly, type of thing. And now you're like, ish Bazothini. Or maybe there's shorts that might have a hole somewhere, hey Bazothini. Maybe there's a phone that you like, or maybe it's the phone that you can afford. Hey, but Bazothini. So now you go get a loan. You get a loan to get yourself a phone that you can't afford, instead of just getting this one. But because we're so stuck in Bazothini, you get held back. You study the wrong career. You work in the wrong spaces. You do all these things because you're just running away from Bazothini. And it is fear. It is fear of society. It is fear of your own dissonance. It is fear of your friends and family. And we need to get to a point where we say, fuck it. Absolutely fuck it. I need to align my thoughts, my words, my actions. They have to align. I am me. I'm not here to practice this life. I'm here to live this life. Should I not want to ever paint my nails again tomorrow? Fine, I'll go. Again, it's just things and challenges that I put on myself every day, every single day, so that I can find the true sense of who I am, and not be scared, and be that lion, and be masculine the way that I view it. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you agree, tell me if you agree. If you disagree, you're allowed to. Let's try and be as respectful as we can, and then teach me. I truly am yearning for a lot of these comments where I get to learn as well and I get to grow. And sometimes when I'm wrong, some people will point it out and I go, I actually got a point. And then sometimes I go, nah, fuck it, happy with me being wrong. Share this video if you think there's other people that will find value in it. Hit that subscription button and that notification bell, and have yourselves a fantastic day. Sharp, guys.